In preparation for closing, it's important to have an accurate picture of the timeline and expectations of both the seller and buyer. Additionally, getting familiar with some common forms of documents will allow you to navigate the closing process and locate various pieces of critical information about your property with ease. Leading up to your closing date, it's critical to review and acknowledge the closing disclosure sent to you by your lender. The lender is legally required to give you the closing disclosure at least 3 business days before you close on the mortgage loan. This 3-day window allows you time to compare your final terms and costs to those estimated in the loan estimate that you previously received from the lender and gives you time to ask your lender any questions before you go to the closing table. Heads up, in accordance with our contract terms, closing delays due to the buyer or the lender are subject to a daily fee of $150. Please work closely with your lender to avoid any delays. On closing day, it's important to have all closing documents and have the funds wired prior to 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. Ahead of closing, the title company will help coordinate a time and place to send a mobile notary that is convenient for your schedule. The buyer will be required to pay the remainder of the down payment and closing costs at this time. And don't forget, the non-refundable deposit will be applied towards the transaction. Keep in mind, title companies require certified funds, so you will need to wire the balance due. Additionally, your signature will have to be notarized when you sign closing documents, so remember to bring at least 2 forms of ID, such as a driver's license and passport. Once the buyer and seller have signed the closing documents, the title company will work with your lender to provide all required documents, properly executed and notarized, from both the buyer and the seller. The lender reviews the documents. They will authorize the title company to close and disperse the transaction. During this process, you'll likely hear about various documents that are required for closing and include your signature, such as the warranty deed, deed of trust, title commitment, tax certificate, HOA resale certificate, and property survey. A warranty deed is a document establishing the transfer of ownership of the property to the new buyer. A deed of trust is a document that ties your new mortgage to the property. Title commitment is a document by which a title insurer discloses to all parties connected with a particular real estate transaction all the liens, defects, and burdens and obligations that affect the subject property. A tax certificate will reflect the amount of taxes charged for the most recent taxable year, as well as any exemptions, unpaid taxes, or tax suits. An HOA estoppel resale certificate will reflect current HOA dues, past due balances, special assessments, and any applicable fees that need to be paid with closing. It will also include the HOA payment address and management company contact information. The title company will provide the full CCRs, which are HOA governing documents, at your request if they are not available through Doorvest. And the last document is the property survey, which assesses the property's legal description and its boundary lines. In addition, it makes a determination of easements included in the parcel of land. If the survey is in Doorvest's possession, it will be provided to you with a contract kickoff. Otherwise, the title company will order one and provide a copy prior to closing. After you've closed on your Doorvest home, make sure to review the Home Ownership Journey Knowledge Hub section for post-closing tips and information about Doorvest property management services.